What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And we're finally here, a day we've been waiting on for almost a month now. The next deep dive for EA Sports College Football 25. It's going to be on the sights and sounds, is what they're calling it. I'm calling it presentation, the game presentation. That's what they're going to be showcasing and shit. This is Christian Brandt this time writing this one instead of Scott O'Gallagher, who wrote the last gameplay deep dive. But he's a proud alumni of Penn State and college football fanatic. As the presentation lead, he's here to take us through the sights and sounds. The vision during our development came in with the reminder every team is somebody's favorite team. It's one of my favorite mantras that they've told us about. Led to us focus on ensuring the presentation contained as much of the detailed sights and sounds of the 134 schools possible. Below is behind the scenes of how the Fanatics came together and packed it all into the game. There's a little clip of the Wake Forest entrance. That looks even better right there. Sights and sounds. Picture this: you're playing at Penn State, getting ready to take on your opponent. This all starts with your team running out of the tunnel to Zombie Nation blasting and the whole stadium chanting, "We are Penn State." We recreated that feeling, sound, and visuals of pregame as if you're down on the field with them. There's nothing like it, and we want to make sure that you could experience the same feeling that these players have when you're walking out as your favorite team. And there you see the Nittany Lion busting open the gates for them. That's pretty awesome too. Traditions. Game day tradition. Game day? What the hell's a game day? Game day tradition is a key element of what separates Saturday from Sunday all around the country. Knowing this, we went to painstaking lengths to build out and capture the sights and sounds of college football. So that's kind of what they were talking about with some of the audio that they even got ESPN to help them collect. Runouts to nail down that authentic feeling college football. The school atmosphere is where it all begins. Walk out of the tunnel with 100,000 family and friends screaming for you, supporting you. Stay up close and personal with our camera style throughout the game. So that's cool. So I think that's what they're talking about with some of the presentation that I was talking about, like on the play call screen and stuff. They're going to have, still this camera going on as you play the game. You'll be able to look at some of this presentation with these, kind of close-up cameras. This is done so you can feel the excitement with our epic runouts for each team and feel like you were just as part of the team as the real players. There you see the Alabama. Mocap was the key to ensuring accuracy and detail of all the props, from historical items to the brand new traditions of game day. Every prop was built to its accurate size and weight, then mocapped in a studio, allowing real people to interact with them. Simply using a stand-in object would not replicate authenticity. So that's why the vehicles look so great. All the little tradition things that they use look so great. You see the highlight there. I believe that's an Army, if I'm not mistaken. But they really recreated those objects in real life and then had the people interact with them and recreated them using mocap. So that's why all that looks so realistic, because they really went in and kind of did it. Basically, CGI made it. They built a 2-story ramp to replicate the hill for the Clemson runout, hired stunt actors to give their best jumps in the middle of the hill and run down that ramp like they were getting ready to meet their rival for the biggest game of their lives. They built the Notre Dame stairs, leading to the classic tradition of tapping on the "Play Like a Champion" sign. For Purdue, we built the rotating bass drum to pay off their pregame show. Georgia, Boston College, Louisiana Lafayette, and Florida State each have tear-through banners when they enter the field. To mocap this, we first created a door frame to mocap the header touches, like for Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, and many others. So some people, that have that banner right there where they jump up and touch it, they're talking about VT and Wisconsin as kind of the highlight ones. Then they hung pool noodles from the top of that. The players ran through, tearing between the pool noodles to simulate the effect of ripping the banner down the middle. For the Gators tunnel, they traveled to Gainesville to get an exact scan of the Gator statue that the players tap on their way from the locker room to the field. They also created a prop with the exact height to mocap tapping Gator head when they walk down the tunnel to the swamp sign overhead. That makes sense too, because when I saw that shot in the initial trailer, I was like, that's incredible looking. So, they pretty much recreated the Gator mocap as well. And there's kind of them getting the scan, it looks like you can see there. And you see these cameras here, these blue and the red. I believe that's the ones that they're talking about. These ones that look like they have asterisks on it, because that's what Matt Brown was talking about in one of the interviews he did, that they can scan something with those cameras and then it can create it in 3D. So like a 3D printer basically. And they use that for equipment in the game and player models and all kinds of stuff. And they're the only, video game company that's using that type of equipment. So that's how next level this stuff is going here. While those are just a few examples of the links we went to, you can be sure there's something for fans of every team. We're talking cannons going off for kickoffs and touchdowns, smoke for UCF's TDs, and all the way to the fountain in Arkansas State, which we pointed out in the trailer. Mascots. Speaking of game day, mascots are the most fun aspects of college football. The variety and detail is unmatched across sports. This encompasses everything from humans in massive costumes to real animals. They have 50 total mascots in the game, including 40 team mascots and 10 real animals representing their school. So, for those that were wondering about mascot mode, this is why it's not in yet. They haven't, created a mascot for every single school yet. That's something that they're going to do in the future, but they did get 50 in this one, 40 of those being team mascots, and then 10 of those real animals that we were talking about that looked so realistic there. You see a little mocap recreation there. For the mascots, we initially did a lot of internal research for each one, checking on what's unique about each mascot and what do fans enjoy about them the most. For example, the Texas Hook'em had Follow Me Eyes. The team worked to get that same level of practical effect in the game. Along the way, they talked to alumni and school contacts to find out even more details. Mascots such as the Stanford tree that change every year, or even animal mascots that grow over time, such as Ralphie from Colorado. They did adjustments on her as she aged into her reigns. Fun things that we learned along the way, like how Boomer and Sooner had the OU logo painted on their hooves. So they've even got that all the way down to that detail. I mean, they went to incredible levels of detail for this shit. There's a shot of the Oklahoma Boomer and Sooner. I know we couldn't touch all the mascots we have in game, but be sure to check out your favorite school and see what unique quirks you can find about them. There's the shot of Tennessee checkerboard with the mascot again. When we talk about a team of developers that love college football, this is what we mean. One of our developers got in on the action as a stand-in to ensure that all the animal runouts were perfect. Go Stu. #Dubs. Turnover tradition, the new era. Not only do we have the classic school traditions in the game, but the new era of traditions, including the turnover and touchdown props, made it into the game as well. So some teams have touchdown props. I didn't even know that. All this action takes place during gameplay, and examples of what you might see are chainsaws, championship belts, basketball hoops, and even a throne. And there you see them with the Clemson dunk celebration. That's pretty awesome. The field we play on. Where you play is one of the most important aspects of your college football experience. We are proud to say that we worked hard to deliver as many stadiums with as much accuracy as possible. This was achieved by visiting local venues such as the University of Florida, to gather detailed references from every corner of the stadium that we could possibly find. And there you see them using that little scanning tool to, do just that. For schools that were farther away, we requested reference materials, and over 80 schools responded, providing an average of 1,000 photos each, accounting to a staggering amount of nearly 80,000 photos to reference from. Additionally, we plan to update stadiums post-launch as we receive new architecture and design from schools so that College Football 25 is authentic to everything you see on Saturdays. And we see that shot of the Colorado Stadium. But that's an awesome detail there. It goes into what they've talked about really continuing to update this game throughout its life cycle. We've talked about roster updates they're going to do, playbook updates they're going to do, and now looks like even atmosphere updates for stadiums and stuff. To streamline the stadium creation process, the team utilized a special stadium toolkit that allowed us to develop all the essential structures for a stadium in record time. Things like tunnels, stairs, and stands are crucial to the authenticity of a college football stadium. This tool allowed us to curate that experience for you. The toolkit enabled the artists to focus on crafting unique architectural details and implementing real-time lighting effects, ensuring that each stadium was both accurate and visually stunning. This efficient workflow allowed the team to meet the ambitious goal of building over 150 stadiums within a single production cycle while maintaining high quality and attention to detail. Suit up in your favorite uniform. College threads are changing every year and even game to game for some teams. Real-world uniforms are made with countless variations of cloth materials, stitching patterns, colors, patches, stripes, logos, names, and numbers. To be able to create uniforms for 134 teams with multiple variations and helmets, we had to create a brand new tool set which allowed artists and designers to build uniforms in real time, seeing their work instantly in Engine. This allowed the team to create incredibly detailed uniforms across 134 different schools. So the stitching's even present on these uniforms, guys. I mean, that's how detailed these things are. And there's that great shot of the Arkansas State, not only the uniform looking great, but that fountain that goes off on touchdowns. That's incredible. Emotional soundscape. As we were getting the sights locked in, we knew the sounds would be just as critical to ensure the soundscape of college football delivered. The feeling of being at a game, the crowd, the band, the cheerleaders, chants, PA music between plays is unlike any other sport. And here's what I'm talking about, guys. With people that have played the game, they said the audio is what really sets it apart from other football games they've played in general. Just the presentation aspect of it is next level, I think. Crowd noise. Over the last 2 seasons, we worked with ESPN to capture crowd audio straight from their broadcast. From Autzen Stadium to Death Valley, both of them, and more. This content will function as our crowd noise, swells, and reactions that you'll experience in every game you play. Remember the OT game between 2022 LSU and Alabama? Yeah, we were there, and we got all of it. In addition to that game in Baton Rouge, we ended up capturing crowd noise from 41 places in games like Oregon State, Georgia, Florida State, Duke, UCLA, Texas, West Virginia. Slow clap for that one. Throwing WVU in the blog again. Slow clap for that shit. Georgia Tech, Miami, Ole Miss, Missouri, Kentucky, NC State, North Carolina, USC, Florida, Auburn, Louisville, Washington, Bama, Michigan, and of course LSU, Clemson, and Oregon. This is my fight song. One of our featured producers, Torsten Staley, Oregon Marching Band alumni, traveled to Nashville to record every team's fight song. So every team's fight song is going to be on the game. Sounds like that could even be some of the audio you hear in game. You're probably going to hear some bands, probably going to hear all the team fight songs, all that stuff in the game menus maybe. We utilized an amazing group of musicians who were just as passionate as us in getting these songs right. Many were previous students and alumni from schools like Oklahoma, North Texas, Vanderbilt, USC, Auburn, and Tennessee. And if you remember, I think it was a page called The Tennessean put a video out on YouTube a few months ago, recording some of the audio for the game and stuff, including a theme that they created for College Football 25. There you see some of the sheet music. Crowd themes. Another example of what makes college football so special are the theme games when the crowd comes together in unison to create a pattern across the stadium. Oh, good. So they're giving us more details about this. Hopefully they tell us how it shows up, if you get to select it or whatever. From the checkerboard pattern at Tennessee to the triple stripe layout at Boise State, we have over 170 different patterns for schools that have them in real life. Each seat in the stadium was hand set up seat by seat to match the patterns. That's insane. Also, if your school has multiple themes, those are in too. That answers my question. That's awesome. So the Gold Rush will be in it for WVU, the Blue Rush, and the Striped Stadium. So, if your team has multiple ones, they're in. Here we have the stripe out, the helmet stripe, and then to one of the most electric atmospheres in college football, the whiteout game. So we're talking about Penn State there, and there you see the different ones there they have for them. Dynamic attendance. Here we go. I think it was Patty, it was you that brought this up in chat, talking about, the lower schools maybe not having the same attendance level and stuff. This is what I was talking a little bit about, knew that this was going to be in here. Glad to see them highlighted. A new feature to help bring more authenticity into the game revolves around attendance levels in stadiums. To help paint a better picture, here's a great example from one of our team members who was playing a dynasty with FIU. During the first couple of games, the stands were not very full, which resulted in a lower home field advantage and lower stadium pulse. Once he landed a big win on the road at Indiana and the team was 7-0, the stands were becoming more full to start the game. By the end of the season, with a 10-1 record and finishing in the top 25 rankings, home games would result in sellout crowds, and the home field advantage and stadium pulse meter was now rocking high on the way to the conference championship. So awesome that even that's dynamic. That's something we've never had before, guys. Just next level details here for College Football 25. Got me smiling ear to ear for this shit. Cannot wait to experience that, especially when your dynasty rebuilds. How fun is that going to be to see everything grow? Your team get better, the crowd improve, get more nationally broadcast games maybe, with the different announce crew, just all kinds of changes that we've never had before, and the dynamic attendance being a part of that's really, really cool, guys. Crowd section layouts. In addition to seeing the unison of the crowd come together for key matchups, each and every stadium is set up with its band section, away visitor section, and student section. So we saw that in that one shot. I didn't see the student section, but we did point out, the band section and the visitors in the trailer there. Also, schools are equipped with pageantry props accurate to life, such as pom-poms at Michigan and Tennessee, towels at South Carolina and Eat Shit Pit, and even the tiger tails for Missouri. So there you go. And that means probably cowbells at Mississippi State in the game as well. High energy student sections. The student section is the lifeblood of the stadium that brings the energy, passion, and emotion that spreads across the full stadium, creating that over-the-top college football atmosphere that we love. We all know what the students do all game, stand and cheer. So in the game, the student section stands the whole game. The student section never sits down. That's awesome too. We captured both male and female actors screaming at the top of their lungs to recreate those high-intensity third down moments. Not only are the big moments captured, but also the heartbreaking ones. Anyone remember the Surrender Cobra? It's in the game. That's awesome.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. Just don't miss the game-winning field goal and you'll be spared. There you see the hand signals they're talking a little bit about for each team. You see the Florida one there. A new feature to help bring more authenticity into the game revolves around attendance levels in the stadium. Oh wait, that's they put that in there twice by accident. Seems like a little typo there because that's not the hand signals part. That's going back to what we just talked about with dynamic attendance. A little bit of a mishap on their part there. But nonetheless, we press on. Next, we researched schools and captured each team's hand signal traditions. During pregame runouts and after positive plays throughout the game, you'll be able to see the fans supporting the team. A few examples of the hand signals in the game: Wisconsin's W, the Miami U, Nebraska's Bones, Duke's Bull City, NC State's Wolfpack, East Carolina's Fingerhook, SMU's Pony Ears, Kansas State's WC/Wildcat, TCU's Go Frogs, Rutgers Chop, North Texas's Eagle Claw, Rice's Owl Wings, UTEP's Pickup, UTSA Shaka Y, New Mexico State's Guns Up, Ball State's Chirp, Northern Illinois' Go Huskies, Oregon's O, Washington's Dubs Up, Texas A&M Gig 'em, Louisiana's UL, South Alabama's J-Han, Texas State's Eat 'em Up Cats, and their Heart of the Texas State, Sam Houston's Claw, plus many more. And they had a huge-ass list right there. That's awesome. They even got, like I said, that goes back to their theme, every team being somebody's favorite team, because you see some of the Group of 5 schools in here. Chants. Another huge tradition essential to college football is stadium-wide chants. The fans, alumni, and student section all work together to fire up their players as an inspirational rally cry to intimidate their opposition when your favorite team needs a critical stop. For schools we weren't able to visit, we went to the top of the parking garage at our Orlando studio and yelled out each chant over and over again to nail down the pace and accuracy for each chant needed. 11 sessions later, we ended up capturing over 220 chants for our game, from OHIO at Ohio State to the third down chirps for the Cardinals of Ball State. We've covered as many as possible. Not only will you hear chants, but many are timed to the mass crowd movements, like Let's Go Blue with the crowd pumping their arms in the air 3 times, or the war chant with the whole stadium doing the tomahawk chop. Beyond what I've already mentioned, here are just a few chants to listen for: Texas's Texas Fight, TCU's Riff Ram, Auburn's War Eagle, Missouri's Mizzou, Minnesota's, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Ski-U-Ma, I guess. It's Kansas's Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant, Army the Rocket and Go Army and their Beat Navy chant, Liberty's Move the Chains, Texas's Texas State, Southern Miss's Nasty Bunch, Ball State's Chirp, Georgia Southern's Whose House Our House, App State, East Carolina's Purple and Gold, SMU's chant, the SEC chant at the SEC schools, plus many more, and they listed a shit ton yet again. Iconic voices in the booth. Any experience in our games isn't complete without voices to speak the action on the field. In College Football 25, they have the 2 broadcast teams lined up. The celebrated team of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will be on the call in your Dynasty and Road to Glory seasons when your weekly matchup is declared the game of the week. They will also be present if you reach a conference championship game, each game of the College Football Playoff, and the College Football Playoff National Championship game. So they're doing the game of the weeks in Dynasty and Road to Glory mode, and then they're doing conference championships, playoffs, and the Natty. So that's when you'll hear Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. But like I said, we have 2 teams will be playing a part of your experience. Referring back to the Thursday night broadcasts in the final years of our original iteration, the iconic crew of Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pollock will be on the call for other games on your Dynasty and Road to Glory schedule. Each commentary team will be able to play now when you're looking just to get a quick game in. So I guess you'll be able to select it and play now, versus when Dynasty and Road to Glory, it's kind of pre-selected. We chose these talented individuals because of the impact they had in the commentary space for college football, and we felt it was best to give you the most authentic and unique experience to date. The team recorded 68,000 lines, over 870 hours, and all of it was recorded remotely in the talent's home in at least 3 different countries. Each member of our commentary team couldn't be more excited to be a part of this experience. And then studio updates, which I believe this is where Kevin Connors comes in. As fans of college football, we know that week-to-week games are happening at all times. Through studio updates, you'll be informed of the latest news from around the country. Longtime ESPN studio host Kevin Connors will be jumping in from time to time to call out national upsets, scores for your game you care about in your conference, and updates on how your rival's doing when you're in Dynasty mode. These updates will happen whether you're playing in the Dynasty that's offline or online. For an online Dynasty, you hear about scores from other members of your Dynasty if they already have the finish in their matchup that week. That's awesome as well that they're including that. I don't even think they did that previously. Celebrations, I mean, they had the studio updates I'm talking about for other users. I don't remember if they showed that or not. Celebrations. No season is complete without a championship celebration. Celebrations come with the glamour, flair, and most important aspect of all, the hardware. We built each trophy from scratch, matching the weight and dimensions of real-life trophies such as the National Championship. After building the foundations, we brought the trophies into the mocap studio and had the team hold the trophies as they had just won. We did this to maximize the authenticity. When you celebrate in game, you'll see players actually feeling the weight when they hold the championship trophy. That's awesome. And you see the mocap there. picture-in-picture and game flow. So good. I'm glad they're highlighting this, the picture-in-picture aspect, where they're going to show the presentation even when you're in the play call screen. In other modes, you're still going to have that. Presentation not just about the visuals and audio, but how the game flows and feels from play to play. We have built a whole new look and feel to the game that takes our authentic atmosphere and pageantry wrapped into our new streamlined picture-in-picture dynamic play call experience. Yep, so here it is. Team members Chris Hussein, UCF alumni, senior experience designer, and Alejandro Thornton, FSU and FIU alumni, the tech designer, developed the new play call screen very early in the production cycle. We tested dozens of layout variations throughout the year until hitting on the right one. In this new streamlined experience, you won't miss a beat of the action and will be informed on important information pertaining to the situation and game. Once the play is finished, the screen shrinks to the top left corner as replays and pageantry continue to show. So they're showing the replay of the play maybe, and they're showing some of the pageantry, the crowd chant maybe, and you can start navigating the playbook while also viewing important updates, information, data in the top right corner. Types of information panels you'll see throughout the game. Stat comparisons, today, season, career versus last week versus opponent. That's awesome that they have it that dynamic to even in your dynasty mode, versus this opponent, they'll have their stats. They'll have their stats from last week. They'll have their stats throughout their whole career. Impact players, who they are, why are they impact players, showing their abilities. So impact players are back. That's awesome. Ranking, top players from around the country in touchdowns, rushing yards, etc. Conference rankings, media and coaches poll, and potential playoff brackets. You'll also be able to see the wear and tear, your field goal kicker's range. Oh, that's cool that they have that highlighted, and much more. We have over 400 panels to keep each game feeling fresh and new. So, this is going to constantly change. You're going to be able to see the presentation on the left. You'll be able to have your play call screen on the bottom, but this top right corner is going to change. See, now it's showing team overalls, but it can show any one of these things that they're highlighting here throughout the game. Even that's dynamic. That's next level as well. That is awesome. We see a highlight of some of the play calls there. Kickoff left, kickoff middle, kickoff right. That's, obviously right here, this is at the start of a game. First quarter, 6-minute quarters confirmed. Georgia Tech and Florida State. Florida State ranked number 11 there. And there's some team overalls as well. Georgia Tech 77, 75, 72. Florida State 84, 82, 80. See the tomahawk chop going on. They're showing that there in the pregame. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes look at the presentation of College Football 25. We can't wait for you to experience the world that we have and will continue to pour our passion into. To us, this is truly the most authentic and unique college football experience ever produced. 100% without a doubt agree with that shit. 100%. Next up, our incredible teammates over on the Dynasty team. We're providing a deep dive into all things coming to Dynasty mode. Another slow clap because I've been waiting for that one. That's some of my favorite mode. I've been looking forward to that shit. Dynasty deep dive next, y'all. And that's got to hopefully be next week, I would think. So there it is, guys. The blog deep dive. We went through the entire blog, so we know a shit ton about College Football 25 presentation now. Hope you guys enjoyed going through it as much as I did. Appreciate you guys tuning into this one, and I will catch you guys on the next one.